Hello, I'm Bob Hartzler, a weed scientist at Iowa State University, and today I'm going to be talking about Dicamba. Now, Dicamba is a relatively old herbicide introduced in the late 1950s, and it's a growth regulator herbicide, so it's very similar to 2,4-D. And it's been widely used in Iowa for over 50 years, primarily in corn, but it's also used in pastures. And if you control weeds in your yard, there's a good likelihood you're using a product that contains Dicamba. So why is a 60-year-old herbicide making headlines? Well, the big thing is the rise in herbicide-resistant weeds. This is a global issue, but we're really struggling with them in Iowa. And the three main resistant weeds we have here in the state are water hemp. For most growers, that's number one. But also mare's tail and giant ragweed are serious problems. So these resistant weeds have spread across the state. Almost every field is infested with them. And the result of this is that farmers are increasing the amount of herbicides they use. And because of this increased use of herbicides, it's also increasing the cost. Another problem with the herbicide-resistant weeds is we are increasing the amount of tillage. And there are detriments to tillage, both for cost and negative consequences to the soil. And because of these herbicide-resistant weeds, people are looking for new tools. Now, one of those new tools are Dicamba-resistant soybeans, and these varieties are sold as Extend. So Monsanto modified the soybeans so they can survive Dicamba applications. These beans were approved for use in 2016, and new Dicamba products were approved for last growing season. There are several products on the market, Extendamax with Vapor Grip technology, Fexapan, and also Ingenia. So these were introduced in 2017, and we had significant problems with off-target movement. Each year, the Department of Agriculture in Iowa is responsible for investigating pesticide misuse claims, and 2017 was the first year that they've had over 200 complaints. And the majority of this increase was due to off-target movement associated with the use of Dicamba. So why is there greater problems with the use of Dicamba than with other herbicides farmers commonly use? Well, one reason is that plants can be damaged by very low concentrations. Most people think of grapes being highly sensitive to 2,4-D, and it takes less than 1% of the labeled rate of 2,4-D to damage grapes. Whereas with Dicamba, sensitive soybeans can be injured with 0.005% of the labeled rate. So there's always a high risk when we use Dicamba near sensitive soybeans. The other problem is that Dicamba is a product that is volatile, and this means that a farmer can use a product appropriately. The Dicamba lands in the field where it's applied, but afterwards it evaporates and moves outside of the field. And this is a real issue. And so this means a farmer can do everything right but still have problems. Now, not all the problems were due to volatility, but a significant number were. So these new formulations that were introduced for use on the Extend soybeans were intended to solve the volatility problem. And what they do is change the salt of the Dicamba molecule. And that represents a bowling ball, and that's supposed to hold the molecule where it stays. And there's several different salts out there. They have reduced the volatility compared to other products, but all research indicates that we still get some off-target movement. So this is the real issue. So, moving forward, how can we reduce problems in 2018? Well, the EPA implemented significant label changes for this year. We think it's really important that growers using this Dicamba technology communicate with their neighbors so they know what sensitive crops are in the area. There also is the Drift Watch, which is a sensitive crops registry, which people can use to place information regarding the location of sensitive crops. So we have many resources that can be used to get information on this here at Iowa State University and also with the Pesticide Bureau with the Department of Ag.